I'm Troy Jenkins, agronomist with North Central Co-op. Today we're in a cornfield in Fulton County. You know, in the past we've talked about the benefits of using row starter on corn. And today we have a situation where we can show just exactly what the value is to using corn row starters. Corn row starters help a great deal as the corn's emerging, especially in cold, wet environments. And it is important in sandy soils that are really deficient in things like phosphorus and sulfur, that we have this extra little kick for the corn plant when it's beginning to germinate so it can take off and get a good start. The phosphorus and the sulfur and the nitrogen all interact together along with micronutrients like zinc to help the corn plant develop a good strong root structure and to gain that nutrition that it needs to emerge and really have rapid growth and development. Today what we can see here is where the grower was using row starter at 2x2 with phosphorus, 28% nitrogen, ammonium thiosulfate, and zinc micronutrient. We can see that the grower had some planter problems, probably in the pumping of the fertilizer, and we can see that we have an erratic uniformity in the field. And we're going to examine exactly what the nutrient deficiencies are in this field from the lack of this row starter on certain plants. As you can see in this corn plant, we have very good uniform color. We have green, good leaf growth all the way from the bottom of the plant to the top of the plant. We don't have any leaf striping, just a nice uniform green color and good leaf expansion. We'll see in the next plant, when we get over into the area that did not get plant food, some of the symptoms that show up with the nutrient deficiencies that are caused from not having the row starter. I'm standing in an area of the field now that when the planter was put into the ground, the row starter was not pumping. You can see from the color of the corn here that I'm in that we have some pretty severe nutrient deficiencies showing up. And what we're really seeing here today is we're seeing an awful lot of sulfur deficiency. And of course, sulfur is very important in the plant because it helps in the process of the nitrogen through the plant, which is important for the protein production and for the chlorophyll molecule. Sulfur is very important for the protein production and is a critical player in the chlorophyll molecule for photosynthesis. And that's one of the reasons why this plant is very peaked and doesn't have a lot of good green color to it. We'll also see when we dig this plant that we have an awful lot less root mass to it in comparison to the plant that we just looked at that was green and healthy. So we can see that there's quite a difference in the root mass between these two plants. The plant not receiving the row fertilizer has a very, very short seminal and lateral root system. Also, the nodal root system is considerably smaller and has a lot less hair roots on it. We can see that the plant that got row starter early has a much, much more defined radical root system, lateral seminal root system, and definitely larger nodal roots. The plant, of course, is greener and has a healthier, thicker, girthier stalk to it. And of course, it's just naturally bigger. So there's great value to having row starter available to the plant, especially in these very, very coarse textured sandy loamy sand fields in northern Indiana. In summary, the use of starter fertilizer is very important in northern Indiana. The nitrogen, the sulfur, and the phosphorus add a lot to the early season growth and development. It's critical for the early season growth on sandy loamy sand soils that suffer from sulfur deficiencies. The plant gets adequate nutrients through the root system early on to get a good, vigorous growth and early start.